The signal from beyond. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the helm of the HFY Horizon, Earth's newest deep space exploration vessel, watching the holographic display of an impossible signal. 20 years of space exploration had taught her to trust her instincts, and right now every nerve in her body screamed that this was different. "Dr. Roberts, run it again," she ordered, her eyes fixed on the dancing patterns of light that represented the transmission. The ship's chief scientist adjusted his worn glasses, a habit he'd never broken despite modern corrective options. "Third time's the same as the first two, Commander. It's definitely artificial, but it's using principles of quantum mechanics we've barely theorized about. Whoever sent this..." He paused, shaking his head in wonder. "They're centuries ahead of us technologically." The bridge crew maintained their professional demeanor, but Chen could feel the electricity in the air. Humanity had encountered alien life before, bacterial samples on Mars, primitive organisms in Europa's oceans, but never an advanced civilization. Never anything like this. Lieutenant Maya Patel's voice cut through the tension. "Commander, I've isolated a pattern in the signal. It's repeating every 47 seconds, but each repetition has subtle variations, almost like someone still actively transmitting." Chen finished. Her first officer, David Torres, straightened in his chair. "Ma'am, if someone's out there actively broadcasting..." He left the implications hanging. Chen nodded, already reaching the same conclusion. This wasn't just a signal, it was a cry for help. "Plot me a course to the source," she ordered. "Dr. Roberts, I want everything you can tell me about that signal. Lieutenant Patel, keep monitoring for any changes. And someone wake up Lieutenant Zhang in engineering. If we're going to push this ship to its limits, I want our best engineer at the controls." As her crew sprang into action, Chen studied the navigational display. The signal originated from a region of space that shouldn't have been capable of supporting life. The heart of the Veil Nebula, a massive cloud of superheated gas and radiation left over from a supernova. No known form of life could survive there, yet something was broadcasting with enough power to punch through the electromagnetic interference. "Course plotted," Torres reported. "But Commander, at maximum safe speed, we're looking at 3 days to reach the source." Chen's jaw tightened. 3 days could be too long. The signal's desperation was clear even if they couldn't yet decode its meaning. But pushing the ship's experimental quantum drive beyond safety limits could tear them apart. "Lieutenant Zhang, report to the bridge immediately," she commanded into the ship's comm system. Seconds later, the young engineer's voice responded, alert despite being woken from deep sleep. "Already running calculations, Commander. Give me 10 minutes to recalibrate the quantum matrix. I think I can get us there in 36 hours without killing us all." Chen allowed herself a small smile. This was why she'd fought to have Zhang assigned to her ship. The engineer's brilliant mind worked faster than most computers. "You have 5 minutes, Lieutenant. Then we jump." She turned to her crew, seeing the same mix of excitement and apprehension on their faces that she felt in her gut. "Whatever we find out there, remember, we're not just representing the Earth Federation. We're representing humanity itself. Let's show the galaxy what that means." The next 5 minutes passed in controlled chaos as the crew prepared for what could be humanity's first contact with an advanced alien civilization. Chen used the time to record a brief message to Federation Command, knowing it would take weeks to reach Earth. "This is Commander Chen of the HFY Horizon. We've intercepted what appears to be a distress signal of non-human origin. We are proceeding to investigate under Article 7 of the Deep Space Exploration Charter. If we don't return, tell the Federation that we acted as humanity's conscience demanded." Chen out. "Quantum matrix recalibrated," Zhang's voice announced. "Ready for jump on your mark." Chen took one last look at the mysterious signal pulsing on her display. In all her years of space exploration, she'd learned that the universe was vast, cold, and often hostile. But she'd also learned that sometimes the greatest discoveries came from following not just protocols, but human instincts. All hands, secure for quantum jump, she announced. Let's go answer that call. The EFs of Horizon's quantum drive engaged, its advanced systems pushing the boundaries of known physics. As the ship accelerated beyond normal spacetime, Chen couldn't shake the feeling that they were heading towards something that would change humanity forever. They just had to hope they'd get there in time. First contact under fire. The EFs of Horizon tore back into normal space in a flash of quantum distortion, alarms blaring across every deck. Commander Chen's stomach lurched as artificial gravity struggled to compensate, but her eyes were fixed on the scene before them. "Dear God," Torres whispered. Through the bridge viewport, a massive structure filled their view, a latticework of crystalline towers that seemed to grow from the very fabric of space itself. But it was burning. Geometric shapes that Chen's mind couldn't quite process were breaking apart, their surfaces crawling with what looked like living shadow. "Multiple contacts," Patel called out, reading hundreds of, "I don't know what they are, Commander. They're not showing up as ships or life forms. They're just void." Dr. Roberts' hands flew across his console. "The structure. It's alive. Or at least it was. Those readings suggest it's some kind of crystalline organic hybrid. A living city, maybe even an entire civilization. And something's eating it," Zhang added grimly from engineering. "Those shadow things, they're not destroying the structure. They're consuming it, converting it into data." Chen had seen enough. "Battle stations, Lieutenant Patel, broadcast on all frequencies. Let's make our presence known." Before Patel could comply, a voice filled the bridge, not through the speakers, but somehow resonating directly in their minds. It felt like crystal chimes in a digital wind. "You came. After so long, someone finally came. Please, help us." "This is Commander Sarah Chen of the Earth Federation ship Horizon," Chen responded, hoping whatever was translating would work both ways. "We received your distress signal. What are those things attacking you?" "We are the Lumini, the Shadows. They are the Void Collective. They consume civilizations, absorb knowledge, expand. We are peaceful. Our defenses fail. Our children." The voice broke off as another section of the Crystal City collapsed, consumed by the writhing shadows. Chen didn't need to hear more. "Target the nearest cluster of those shadow things," she ordered. "All weapons, fire at will." The Horizon's advanced weaponry lashed out, plasma beams and quantum torpedoes streaking toward the void forces. But at the last moment, the shadows shifted, not dodged, not moved. They simply ceased to be where the attacks landed and appeared elsewhere. "Impossible," Torres exclaimed. "They're predicting our targeting algorithms perfectly, every shot." Chen's mind raced. These things consumed civilizations, absorbed their knowledge. They would have encountered countless advanced species, learned their patterns, their logic. "Switch to manual targeting," she commanded. "Disable all predictive systems. Lieutenant Zhang, give me the sloppiest, most human targeting solutions you can manage." "Commander," Torres questioned. "They're used to fighting advanced civilizations," Chen explained. "Perfect logic, predictable patterns. Let's show them something different, something human." Zhang's voice carried a grin. "Randomizing shield frequencies too, Commander. Let's get weird." The next volley caught the shadows off guard. 3 of them dissipated into actual shadow as plasma fire struck home. The remaining forces paused their assault on the Crystal City, turning their attention to the horizon. "Impossible," the Lumini voice chimed. "They're adaptive algorithms. How are you hitting them?" "Because we're not using algorithms," Chen replied. "We're using human instinct. And speaking of instinct, Dr. Roberts, can you locate the Lumini civilians?" "Yes, Commander. I'm detecting concentrations of crystalline life forms in the central spires. But those shadows are closing in." Chen had already made her decision. "Lieutenant Zhang, prep the transporters. We're evacuating as many as we can. Torres, coordinate with security for emergency shelter arrangements. She opened a ship-wide channel. All hands, this is the commander. We are about to attempt emergency evacuation of crystalline alien life forms while under fire from hostile forces. This is not a drill. This is what humanity does. We help those in need, no matter the cost. The shadow forces surged toward them, but the Horizon's unpredictable defenses held. Human randomness proved to be their greatest weapon. Each time the Void Collective's perfect algorithms tried to predict their actions, the crew did something illogical, something purely human. As the first groups of Lumini materialized in their cargo bays, beams of living crystal and light that defied description, Chen realized this was more than a rescue mission. This was humanity's true first contact with advanced alien life, happening in the middle of a battle for survival. "Commander," Patel called out, "the shadows are changing tactics. They're learning the human element, engineering to bridge. The quantum core is redlining." Zhang's voice carried over the chaos of battle. "These shadow things are trying to do to our ship what they did to the Crystal City. They're attempting to consume our technology." Commander Chen gripped her command chair as another impact rocked the horizon. The Void Collective had adapted to their random tactics, but not quite fast enough. For every hit they took, they'd managed to land 2 of their own, but the shadows kept coming. "Status of the evacuation," she demanded. "We've got about 40% of the surviving Lumini aboard," Torres reported. "But Commander, we're running out of space, and our shields can't take much more of this." A crystalline form materialized on the bridge, one of the Lumini leaders they'd rescued. Its geometric patterns pulsed with what Chen had learned to recognize as urgency. "Your vessel's design is fascinating," it chimed. "Imperfect by our standards, yet somehow more effective because of it. Like your tactics." "Imperfect is what we do best," Chen replied, then lurched as another blast rocked the ship. "But right now, imperfect might not be enough. We need—" She stopped, an idea forming. "Dr. Roberts, you said the Lumini City was a crystalline organic hybrid. Could we interface our systems with Lumini technology?" The scientist's eyes widened. "That would be incredibly dangerous. Their tech operates on principles we barely understand. The power feedback alone could be exactly what we need." Zhang cut in, catching on. "Commander, if we route our quantum core through their crystalline systems, using their natural resonance patterns, you would risk destroying your vessel," the Lumini leader chimed. "The energy convergence would be unpredictable." "Unpredictable is exactly what we need," Chen smiled. "The Void Collective adapts to patterns. Let's give them something that has no pattern at all." The next few minutes were controlled chaos as the crew worked to implement their desperate plan. The Lumini, despite their initial hesitation, proved to be quick studies in human improvisation. Their crystalline technology began to merge with the Horizon systems, creating hybrid interfaces that defied conventional physics. "Power readings are off the scale," Roberts reported. "The quantum core is resonating with the Lumini crystals in ways I can't even measure." "It's beautiful, actually." "And deadly," Torres added. "The shadow forces are pulling back. They can't predict what we're about to do because even we don't know what's about to happen." Chen opened a ship-wide channel. "All hands, brace for whatever comes next. Lieutenant Zhang, on my mark, route all power through the hybrid systems. This is either going to be spectacular or spectacularly fatal," Zhang replied cheerfully. "Ready when you are." Chen took a deep breath. Around her ship, the Void forces had regrouped, preparing for what their perfect algorithms told them would be the logical next move. But there was nothing logical about what the humans and Lumini were about to attempt. Now, energy cascaded through the hybrid systems. Lumini crystals pulsed with quantum power, creating resonance patterns that rippled through space itself. The shadow forces tried to adapt, but their algorithms couldn't process the chaos of human technology, merged with crystalline alien physics. The result was beyond anything they'd predicted. A wave of quantum crystalline energy erupted from the horizon, its pattern constantly shifting, impossible to analyze or counter. Where it touched the shadow forces, they simply ceased to exist, not destroyed, but unwritten from reality itself. "It's working," Patil exclaimed. "The hybrid energy is disrupting their ability to consume technology. They can't process the random quantum fluctuations." "Remarkable," the Lumini leader chimed. "Your species' willingness to embrace chaos as a tool. We would never have conceived of such a strategy." "That's humanity for you," Chen replied, watching as the shadow forces retreated from the crystalline city. "We specialize in doing the impossible by refusing to accept that it's impossible." But their victory wasn't complete yet. As the Void Collective pulled back to regroup, Chen knew they had only bought themselves time. The shadow forces would adapt eventually. They always did. The question was whether humanity and the Lumini could adapt faster. "Dr. Roberts, work with our Lumini guests. I want to know everything about how their technology interfaces with ours. Lieutenant Zhang, see if you can stabilize these hybrid systems without losing their unpredictability. And someone get me a coffee. I have a feeling this is going to be a long day." As her crew rushed to their tasks, Chen watched the retreating shadow forces. They had proven that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their weapons, but their ability to think outside every box, to combine the logical and the absurd. Now they just had to prove they could do it again. And again, until the Void Collective learned that some species simply couldn't be predicted. The real battle was just beginning. Battle for survival. The bridge of the EF's horizon had transformed. Crystalline growths pulsed with quantum energy along the walls, merging human and Lumini technology in ways that defied conventional physics. Commander Chen watched as her crew worked seamlessly alongside their crystalline allies, the initial strangeness of their forms long forgotten in the heat of battle. "Multiple targets reappearing," Patil announced. "The Void Collective is back, and they've changed." The shadow forces that emerged from hyperspace were different. Where before they had been pure darkness, now they rippled with streaks of crystalline energy. They had adapted, incorporating aspects of their previous victims' technology. "They're attempting to use our own hybrid technology against us," Dr. Roberts observed, his fingers dancing across interfaces that were half hologram, half living crystal. "But there's something they don't understand about human nature." Chen nodded, understanding. "We adapt too." "Zhang, status of Project Chaos. Ready to blow up in our faces at any moment, Commander," the engineer replied cheerfully from her new position in what they dubbed the hybrid engineering bay. "But the good kind of blow-up, probably." The Lumini leader, who had taken to calling itself Dawn, hummed with what Chen now recognized as appreciation. "Your species embraces failure as a path to success. It is counterintuitive, yet effective." "Failure is just another word for learning opportunity," Chen replied, then straightened as new alerts flashed across the quantum crystal displays. "They're making their move. All hands. Battle stations." The Void Collective struck with devastating force, their attacks now enhanced by stolen Lumini technology. But the Horizon's hybrid systems responded with impossible patterns, quantum fluctuations guided by human intuition and crystalline precision. "They're targeting the evacuation ships," Torres called out as the last wave of Lumini civilians attempted to flee their dying city. "Their algorithms are predicting the escape vectors." "Then let's give them something they can't predict," Chen decided. "Zhang, remember that crazy idea you had about quantum tunneling? The one that breaks 17 laws of physics. That would be suicide." "Exactly. Do it." Energy surged through the Horizon's hybrid systems as Zhang initiated a sequence that no sane engineer would attempt. The ship's quantum core interfaced with Lumini crystals in a way that should have torn reality apart. Instead, it bent it. "Quantum tunnel forming," Roberts announced, his voice filled with equal parts terror and excitement. "But Commander, we can't possibly." "We can, And we will. Chen cut him off. Puddle, broadcast to all evacuation ships. When I give the word, follow us in. Torres, plot an intercept course with the main Void fleet. We're going to show them why humans are terrible at following the rules of physics. The Horizon plunged forward, its hybrid systems creating a tunnel through quantum space itself. Behind them, the evacuation ships fell into formation, their crystal drives resonating with the human vessel's wake. The Void Collective's perfect algorithms tried to predict their trajectory, but how do you predict something that shouldn't be possible? Quantum tunnel destabilizing, Zhang warned. We've got maybe 2 minutes before reality remembers we're breaking its laws. That's all we need, Chen replied. All ships, execute emergency pattern Chen Alpha. The human Lumini fleet burst from the quantum tunnel directly inside the Void Collective's formation. The shadow ships, their algorithms struggling to process the impossible maneuver, scattered in confusion. In that moment of chaos, the hybrid weapons of the Horizon opened up, joined by crystalline beams from the evacuation ships. It's working, Torres exclaimed. Their adaptive algorithms can't handle the quantum tunnel residue. They can't predict where we are because technically we're in several places at once. Dawn's crystalline form pulsed with fierce joy. Your species' gift for turning theoretical impossibilities into tactical advantages is remarkable. The Void has never encountered anything like it. But the advantage wouldn't last. Already, the shadow ships were beginning to adapt, their forms shifting to account for the quantum anomalies. Chen knew they had one shot at ending this. Zhang, remember how you said connecting our quantum core directly to the Lumini crystal matrix would definitely kill us all? Yes, and please don't tell me. Begin connection sequence. Dawn, I need your people to synchronize their crystal resonance with our core. We're going to show the Void Collective what happens when human chaos meets crystalline order at a quantum level. Commander, Roberts protested. The energy release could tear a hole in space-time. Then we better make it count. Chen opened a channel to all ships. This is Commander Chen. What we're about to do is either going to save us all or create a new physics theorem for future generations to study. Either way, it's been an honor serving with all of you. Human and Lumini alike. Stand by for final sequence. As her crew rushed to execute their roles in what might be their final battle, Shan allowed herself a moment to appreciate the irony. The Void Collective had spent eons perfecting their ability to predict and counter any civilization they encountered. But they had never encountered anything like humanity, a species that took pride in achieving the impossible simply because someone said it couldn't be done. The final sequence began, and reality itself held its breath. Legacy of Two Worlds. Time seemed to slow as the quantum crystal matrix reached critical resonance. Commander Chen watched energy readings spike beyond anything their instruments could measure as human chaos and Lumini order merged into something entirely new. Core fusion in 3, 2. Zhang's voice carried an almost manic excitement. 1. Reality shattered. The quantum crystal fusion created a cascade effect that rippled through space-time itself. Where the Horizon's hybrid systems had previously bent the rules of physics, now they rewrote them entirely. A wave of pure possibility expanded outward, each point of contact with the Void Collective creating a unique reaction as human unpredictability amplified through crystalline focus. Their adaptation algorithms are failing. Roberts called out, his display showing impossible readings. They can't process what's happening because it's not following any logical pattern. The shadow ships began to break apart, not through destruction, but through fundamental contradiction. Their perfect predictive systems encountered something they couldn't adapt to. The quantum uncertainty of human nature crystallized into pure energy. We're registering total molecular dissolution of void units, Paddle reported, her voice filled with wonder. They're not being destroyed. They're choosing to not exist. Dawn's crystalline form pulsed with understanding. Your hybrid energy isn't attacking them. It's introducing them to true chaos. Their fundamental nature cannot sustain the contradiction. Chen watched as the last of the shadow ships faded from existence, their perfect algorithms finally encountering a problem they couldn't solve. But victory had come at a cost. Hull integrity at 15%, Torres reported. The quantum crystal matrix is breaking down. We've got maybe 10 minutes before total system failure. Then let's make them count. Status of the Lumini evacuation. All surviving civilians transferred to the emergency fleet. But Commander, their city, their home. Chen turned to Dawn. We've bought you time, but you've lost so much. Earth would welcome your people, but I understand if. The Lumini leader's crystalline form shifted in what Chen had learned was their equivalent of laughter. You misunderstand, Commander. What we've lost in structure, we've gained in understanding. Your species has taught us something invaluable. That perfection is not the answer. It is in the imperfections, the chaos, the willingness to attempt the impossible, that true advancement lies. The quantum crystal technology, Roberts interjected, his eyes bright with possibility. It's stable now. Different from either of our original systems, but better. We've created something entirely new, a fusion of human creativity and Lumini precision, Chen mused. A legacy of two worlds. The next few months saw changes that would reshape both civilizations. The Lumini, with their newfound appreciation for controlled chaos, began rebuilding using the hybrid technology. Their new structures were less geometrically perfect, but more alive, more adaptable. Human engineers worked alongside crystalline architects, each learning from the other. The Earth Federation, presented with proof of both advanced alien life and the effectiveness of human unpredictability, launched a new era of exploration. Ships equipped with quantum crystal hybrid systems pushed deeper into space, ready to face whatever challenges awaited with a uniquely human combination of scientific precision and creative chaos. 1 year later, Commander Chen stood on the observation deck of the New Horizon-class vessel, watching as human and Lumini crews prepared for their first joint deep space mission. His ship itself was a testament to their partnership. Sleek Federation engineering merged with crystalline technology, designed to adapt and evolve. Ready to break some more laws of physics? Zhang asked, joining her at the window. The engineer had spent the past year helping develop the hybrid systems, each iteration more impossible than the last. That's what humans do best, Chen replied with a smile. We break the rules, then we rewrite them. Dawn materialized beside them, its crystalline form now incorporating streaks of metal that reflected the ship's lighting. And in doing so, you teach others to see beyond their limitations. The Void Collective failed because they sought to consume and perfect. Humanity succeeds because you embrace imperfection, turn chaos into strength. Chen nodded, watching as the stars beckoned through the viewport. The universe was vast and full of wonders, but also dangers. Yet she knew that as long as humanity remembered its greatest strength, the ability to face the impossible with innovation, determination, and just a touch of chaos, there was nothing they couldn't overcome. All hands, she announced, settling into her command chair. Prepare for quantum crystal jump. Let's go see what other impossibilities we can achieve today. The hybrid drive engaged, and the ship leaped into the unknown, carrying with it the legacy of two civilizations that had learned that sometimes the greatest victories come not from perfection, but from the beautiful chaos of trying something new. The end.